started this YouTube channel about 2 years ago to share what I've been learning, but it's been kind of hard to make videos when I just want to be outside playing in the garden. But I came across this guy, Jason from Coghill Family Farm, and his supervisor, Peaches. He is so inspirational. He's so positive. He just has a really good attitude about life. Plus, where he lives in Alabama, it's Zone 8A, just like it is here. So much of what he's doing there works here in our Northeast Texas environment. You should check out his YouTube channel. It's really worth your time. So for this video today, I'm just going to record what I'm doing. I have the whole day off and I just come out here and look around, and the garden kind of just tells me what to do. It's the middle of November. We've had 2 nights of where it got down below freezing, so we'll just kind of look around and see what has made it and what hasn't made it. The mustard greens are still thriving. The kale's still looking pretty good. The collard greens are still doing pretty good. And the Brussels sprouts are looking pretty good too. The basil is done. The morning glories are done. The cowpeas, they're done. And the pole beans, they're done too. So today we're going to just take out a bunch of plants. Because beans are nitrogen fixers, they extract nitrogen from the atmosphere and they store it in their roots. So instead of pulling all of them out, I'll take them and I just cut right at the bottom of each pole bean. That way the roots stay in the ground and put that nitrogen back in the soil. So this is a no-till bed. You don't turn it. All the roots from the spent plants just stay in the ground and they decompose. You just continue adding mulch and compost on the top layer. All the biomass from the garden gets composted. Okay, I'm getting hungry and it's time for lunch. I'm not sure what we're going to eat yet, but it is November, so I don't have just a whole lot to choose from, but we'll figure out something. Okay, we ended up with endive, romaine, collard greens, kale, a little bit of chard, and some mustard greens. If your mustard greens are real spicy like mine, one way to use them is just to cook them with rice. So I just chop them up real fine and I just add it to the rice water. And I just cook it with the rice. rice with steamed greens. It's super easy. Most of the stuff is steamed. The endive and the romaine I'm going to leave. Maybe I'll just steam them for like a minute. But the others, we just cut out the middle part, the bone, because we're only going to steam these for probably 3 minutes. I want to keep as much of the nutrients in as possible. I don't want to cook out everything. Okay, we're just going to cut these up real fine so I kind of get them all in a pretty good layer. You just bunch them up and you roll them up. It's pretty tight. You just get your knife and you just cut it up really fine. Of course, there's all kinds of different ways to do this. This is just a quick way to make a lunch. Now we'll get the water going in the steamer. Okay, so now the water is boiling. I'm going to place my chopped greens in there. Put the lid on. And we'll just set the timer. I'm just going to do it for 4 minutes. I'm going to chop up this endive and romaine. You don't have to steam. There's no rules. You just make it up. But I mean, you could put this on there raw. It's the endive has been out there a while, so I want to cook it just a little bit. But you know, you can put this on there raw, whatever you want to do. It's getting close to our last minute because I don't want a lot of steam to escape when I'm putting this in there. It's easier to just go ahead and put it in a bowl, then you just dump it all in at once. Okay, we're waiting on 1 minute. That's it. So then I just put it in there. And then we get our plate ready. Rice is done. Mix this up. Put it on the plate. Veggies are ready. And just dump it on there. A little bit of pepper. If you have olive oil, you could drizzle it with olive oil. It's good to put some cashews or pine nuts or almonds in there. But there's your lunch. I'm not saying this is gourmet cooking or anything, but a lot of people get intimidated. They're growing all this food and they, how do you fix it? And we're going to spend hours in the kitchen. This is just a super easy way to use some of your harvest. And it's really healthy. Okay, back to it. Let's go see what else we can do. I'd like to take these basil plants out because they look so bad. They're right by the road. But I want to let them dry out a little bit more so the seeds will start falling and self-seed, so I'll have lots of basil next year. All these basil plants I didn't plant, they just self-seeded from last year. This is comfrey. Its leaves are not going to make it when we get the harder freezes that are just around the corner. So for the last part of this video, we're going to make some comfrey tea. This will be a liquid fertilizer for my plants. Comfrey is very popular in permaculture systems. It's said that its roots go 8 to 15 feet down into the earth, and it brings up minerals other plants can't reach. The nutrient-rich leaves decompose in the water in just a few days. It smells pretty bad when decomposing, so I like to use these plastic jugs. You just take some leaves, rip them up, and let it go. After 3 days, you can use it straight on the soil around your plants. If you let it decompose longer in the plastic jugs, you probably should dilute it with water before using. This really does work. I did a test with some extra mixed seeds. I had morning glory, okra, purple basil, broccoli, and pomegranate. 9 of the cells I just used water, the other 9 comfrey tea. It took a while, somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks, but you can see an obvious difference.